U.S. issues visa restrictions on Guyanese officials for undermining democracy. RAMJATTAN demands full investigation into public building fires. High Court sets elections hearing for Friday. In the region, Trinidad to host full CPL tournament. And internationally, United Nations says migrants in Yemen are stranded, abused amid coronavirus fear. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. I am George Gonzalez. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight's broadcast with the news that the United States government has moved to issue visa restrictions on those who it deems was complicit in undermining the will of the people in the 2020 general and regional elections. Here's more in this report. This morning, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced that the American government will be imposing visa restrictions on certain GCOM officials and government officials as well as their families for actions that it deemed undermined the democratic process in Guyana.
A little closer to home. Today I'm announcing visa restrictions on individuals responsible for or complicit in undermining democracy in Guyana. Immediate family members of such persons may also be subject to restrictions. The Granger government must respect the results of democratic elections and step aside.
Pompeo went further to state, quote, Guyana's non-democratic trajectory is dangerous for its citizens and for the hemisphere as a whole. I hope that Guyana's leaders understand what is at stake if they continue down this path. This action is not about interference. It is to send a clear message of the consequences of subverting democracy and the rule of law, which poses a danger to us and our hemispheric partners. We have long said that we have no preference for a winning party as long as it is selected through a free and fair electoral process that is credible. End quote. The State Department has not given an exact date on when such restrictions would be instituted or exactly on which persons. Nevertheless, the United States Embassy in Georgetown is expected to speak to the media on this development tomorrow. Channel 2 Headline News, George Gonzalez. The government has since responded to Pompeo's statement. An official press release issued this morning said, quote, the executive arm of the government regrets the decision taken by the United States Department of State. The matter affecting the outcome of Guyana's elections is still before the courts, which is entirely the responsibility of the judiciary. No declaration has been made. The executive branch has not participated in the undermining of the elections process and urges all countries interested in Guyana's development to await the logical conclusion of the process, which is being managed by the Elections Commission in accordance with the Constitution of Guyana. The executive arm has not interfered in the functioning of the Elections Commission. End quote. Reports indicate that the United Kingdom is considering similar sanctions against government officials, while Canada has since issued a statement as well, supporting calls to announce the results based on the national recount. Public Security Minister RAMJATTAN is calling for a full investigation into the recent acts of arson against multiple public buildings. Bibi Bacchus brings us that story.
The Ministry of Public Security has condemned the recent destruction of public buildings. Yesterday, fires have destroyed a GCOM sub-district building in Wismar-Linden, a section of the CID office in the Anna Regina Police Station, and an abandoned GDF building on the Essequibo coast, all of which points to arson. Public Security Minister RAMJATTAN has since called for an increased security presence around public buildings. RAMJATTAN said that it was too early to determine whether or not the fires were politically motivated. However, executive member of the People's Progressive Party Civic, Gail Tushira, directly suggested the attacks were politically motivated. Speaking to the Morara Waves, Tushira said, I believe that this is an APNU tactic to drive fear into people, and it wouldn't succeed. We know what they are capable of in the past, but this is not 2020 and not 1917 and 2001. It is basically fear tactics. But she added that people should not be duly afraid and intimidated by these actions. Nevertheless, the Commissioner of Police Leslie James and Fire Chief Marlon Gentle are both expected to file a detailed report on each incident before a conclusion is drawn. For Headline News Update, Bibi Bacchus.
Thanks, Bibi. Stick around. Coming up after the break, High Court sets elections hearing for Friday, and body found in Strathspey Canal identified.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized gear, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness, or join our Beccaphonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
Hurry down to Zasco on 15 North Road between Camp and Wellington Streets. Quality products at low cost for every room in your home. 65 and 55 inches high-stand 4K smart TVs. Samsung French door fridges. Black & Decker appliances, queen and king size Canadian-made mattresses. German-made pressure pots in 5 to 9 liters. 12-piece pot sets, knife sets, cutlery sets and pans, commercial fans. Samsung smart stoves. Canadian-made 3-piece recliner sofa sets. Air fryers and Hamilton Beach hot and cold water dispenser.
Oh gosh, what's this? Me son can't read or spell. Stop! 0 out of 20. Is what I gonna do here?
Hi guys, my name is Ms. Purja Singh and I'm the Senior Teacher at the Literature After School Program. Due to the spread of the coronavirus and the need for social distancing, we have moved our in-class learning activities to online via Skype. On the online side, we will be focusing on spelling, phonics, reading, and the National Grade 6 assessments. For more information, you can inbox us or call us.
Contact us on 675-4379.
I can call them now.
Hidden Treasures, discovering gems in young minds.
Welcome back. The High Court of Guyana has set a date for the hearing of oral arguments in the case brought before it, seeking to block the declaration of the election's results based on the national vote recount. The case is before Chief Justice Roxanne George Wiltshire. During a case management conference this morning, Justice George Wiltshire said she is hoping to provide a decision by Sunday. The body that was located in a canal on the East Coast last week has been identified. More from Esther Sobers.
The police were able to ascertain the identity of a partially decomposed body which was fished out of the Traspi Canal, East Coast Narara on Monday. The body has been identified as 26-year-old Deshaun McLean of 229 Lodge Housing Scheme, Georgetown. According to the deceased's father, he spoke to his son January last as he suffers from mental health issues and was a patient of a doctor at the Georgetown Public Hospital. The deceased was known to leave his home frequently as he would wander off for days. McLean's body was discovered by employees of the Traspi pump station. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away. Coming up after the break, Argentinian artists struggled during COVID-19 crisis, and United Nations says migrants in Yemen stranded and abused amid coronavirus fears.
Oh gosh, what's this? Me son can't read or spell. Stop! 0 out of 20. Is what I gonna do here?
Hi guys, my name is Ms. Purja Singh and I'm the Senior Teacher at the Literature After School Program. Due to the spread of the coronavirus and the need for social distancing, we have moved our in-class learning activities to online via Skype. On the online side, we will be focusing on spelling, phonics, reading, and the National Grade 6 assessments. For more information, you can inbox us or call us.
Contact us on 675-4379.
I can call them now.
Hidden Treasures, discovering gems in young minds.
Hurry down to Zasco on 15 North Road between Camp and Wellington Streets. Quality products at low cost for every room in your home. 65 and 55 inches high-end 4K smart TVs. Samsung French door fridges. Black & Decker appliances. Queen and king size Canadian-made mattresses. German-made pressure pots in 5 to 9 liters. 12-piece pot sets, knife sets, cutlery sets and pans, commercial fans. Samsung smart stoves. Canadian-made 3-piece recliner sofa sets. Air fryers and Hamilton Beach hot and cold water dispenser.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized gear, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness. Or join our Becca Phonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Crow Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. The entire 2020 Hero Caribbean Premier League will be played in Trinidad and Tobago from August 18th to September 10th, a departure from franchises playing home and away series. Organizers are anticipating a full season and will feature overseas and Caribbean players all set to take part. Last year's CPL had a combined broadcast and digital viewership of $312 million. With the tournament being the first franchise T20 event to take place in several months, organizers are expecting the tournament to have more interest than ever. The CPL will be working with the Trinidad and Tobago Ministry of Health and its own board of medical advisors to create protocols which minimize the risk of transmission of the COVID-19 virus to the population of Trinidad and amongst those who will be traveling to the Twin Island Republic from overseas. All teams and officials will be housed in one hotel, and everyone will be subject to strict quarantine protocols for the first 2 weeks they are in the country. Everyone traveling from overseas will be tested for COVID-19 before departure and then again on arrival in Trinidad. Artists around the world are adapting to pandemic restrictions by swapping physical performance spaces for virtual ones. It is proving particularly challenging for those in Argentina, where a dire economy was already affecting a large percentage of the population. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bow reports.
Tango represents the heart of the culture in Buenos Aires, music and dance that originated here in the late 1800s. But COVID-19 has forced many dancers to adjust and adapt to the changing nature of their careers.
Everything related to art is suspended, and it's one of the last things that will come back. I'm trying to be positive and focus on what I can do, but some of my colleagues say online classes make them feel lonelier, far away from everything. Tango has a lot of physical contact, so it's going to be a while before we're allowed to go back to a stage.
Fernanda is now teaching students from all around the world and is managing to make ends meet. But not everyone has been able to succeed. These artists have come to the presidential palace to demand government assistance.
We're trying to create a common front to demand an income because we don't have anything. The government should impose a tax on Netflix and other streaming platforms because they're making a lot of money while we're not allowed to do anything.
Theaters, cinemas, and everything related to culture were one of the first places to shut down, and they're likely to be the last ones to open.
This is the Corrientes Avenue. It's known as the Broadway of South America because of the amount of theaters that are located here. All of them have been closed for almost 4 months, leaving thousands of people without work.
Many theaters are now streaming plays online, and after, watching viewers have an option to make a donation. Artists say they have had to prepare safety protocols just to be ready if and when they're allowed to open the curtains once again. In this song, they say they're anxious to be part of a play again because it will mean the threat of COVID-19 has passed.
Every day I'm talking to representatives in New York, Mexico, Spain, and we talk about the same thing, passing information that we don't have because we have never seen anything like this. All theatres around the world are closed. We are meeting with the government to see how we continue, not to see how to open up.
Argentina had a long and vibrant cultural life before the pandemic. So many of these artists are filled with hope and optimism that they'll be able to perform once again. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Buenos Aires.
And internationally, tens of thousands of African migrants, mostly Ethiopians, stranded in Yemen, have been harassed and forcibly transferred internally amid fears they are spreading the coronavirus, according to the UN's migration agency. Al Jazeera's Sarah Karyat reports.
Trapped in Yemen, one of the most dangerous countries in the world, there's little these Ethiopian migrants can do except pray under the hot sun. Most were headed to Saudi Arabia for work, hoping it could pull them out of poverty. But the pandemic stopped them in their tracks. Now they're among tens of thousands of migrants stuck in a country in its 6th year of war.
COVID-19 has made this situation worse. Migrants are scapegoated as carriers of the virus and as a result suffer exclusion and violence. In addition to the forced removals, fears about COVID-19 have led to migrants in Yemen experience verbal and physical harassment, increased detention, and movement restrictions.
The majority of migrants in Yemen are from Ethiopia. Most have been forced to sleep rough or even shelter in abandoned or bombed buildings.
I don't have a place to stay. No sleep, no food. There's nothing. We're all tired, very tired. There is no food or water or anything. To sleep, we use cardboard and sleep at the traffic lights. I'm tired.
The International Organization for Migration says more than 14,000 migrants have been forcibly transferred to cities like Aden and Marib, vulnerable and stigmatized. Many are being held in extremely unhygienic detention centers with little food or water. Last week, the World Food Programme warned of a potential famine across Yemen, with around 10 million people facing acute food shortages. Its health system has all but collapsed, and the UN believes the number of COVID-19 cases is much higher than reported. All adding to the concern for the migrants now trapped in the world's worst humanitarian crisis of modern times. Sarah Khairat, Al Jazeera.
That's all for today's regional and international news. Here is your 3-day weather forecast. That's all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. Tune in Friday at 6 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Also, visit our website at headlinenewsguyana.com for all the news we couldn't fit in the newscast. Until then, take care.